Okay, time for a new video, and whether you are somebody new to my channel or you are returning to my channel to watch this video, it is greatly appreciated. As always, I'm filming this video in one go, so if I stumble over my words moving forwards, apologies about that, and also apologies if the quality of this video is not too great either. If there's any lag, anything like that at all, sadly it can't be helped, and hopefully it is not much of an issue for you. This is yet another Eurovision 2024 related video here on my channel, and specifically another Melodifestivalen related video here on my channel, because right now I'm about to listen to snippets of all of the songs involved in Heat 4 of this year's Melfest. Melfest, of course, being the Swedish selection for the Eurovision Song Contest, which this May will take place in Sweden, specifically in Malmö. As always, you're welcome to let me know your thoughts on anything I discussed today by leaving a comment, and as always, there are links in the description to my other social media pages. Check them out if you so wish. So, getting straight into this, as always, I will briefly review last weekend's third heat of Melfest 2024, which took place in Växjö. 6 more acts took to the stage, 2 went through to the final directly, and 2 went through to this runoff vote second chance round, which will take place at the end of Heat 5 next week. So, last in Heat 3, with 45 points across the age ranges and the telephone vote, was Kim Cesarion with Take My Breath Away. You'll have to forgive me here because it's been a few days since I watched these performances, so I can't really remember too much about them. And particularly with Kim's performance, there's barely anything I remember about it. He was in a black outfit, had a couple of dancers with him. It was all trying to be quite suave and sophisticated and cool. The song was just a big letdown, really. The chorus didn't pack much of a punch, and it needed to kick in a bit earlier on, because after about 40 seconds, I wasn't really invested as much anymore, and I sort of expected that the song would progress in the manner it actually did. Didn't really build up to much. I found it fairly disappointing, a little bit cheesy and dated, so there we go. Not much else to say about it. In the voting, he did well with 3 to 9-year-olds, but not terribly well, or well enough rather, with anybody else. Also missing out, 4th place in the second round of voting with 52 points. This was Aldrig Mer by Clara Klingenström. Oh man, this was a disappointment as well, because Clara's previous Melfest effort was very good. It was a bit of a dark horse. It did well in the final a few years ago. This, however, is out at the first hurdle. And having heard the whole thing, I can't say I'm too surprised. She was standing there alone on stage, if I remember correctly. She had curtains around her. At least that's what it looked like. You'll know what I'm on about if you've seen the performance. This was an easy listening, soft rock type of entry. There was a low-key, ever so slight country lilt to it as well, if you see what I mean. She deserved a better song. Did she write this herself? I can't quite remember, but this just wasn't hitting top gear. It really wasn't. Whereas her previous Melfest effort, there was something very pleasant about it. This just wasn't quite reaching that level, which is a shame. There was Teal Lighting. It's a fairly uplifting song, but I've written here that it needed to be even more uplifting. It needed to be even more emphatic. And I don't know, I don't think you could have had dancers for this one, or anybody else on stage with her. But it did look a little bit awkward in the final third, because she was starting to dance a little bit. And I don't know, I just couldn't really love this as much as I wanted to. And in the age range voting, apart from older viewers, nobody really cared much for this. Going through to the runoff vote, 3rd place, 56 points. It was very close, this. I Won't Shake La La Gunilla by Gunilla Persson. And I really expected this to be a very silly track, and to some degree it was. I would say it was about 20% serious, 80% just having a bit of a laugh, which was alright. Songs like this are very hit and miss for me. Sometimes I am very dismissive of them, because they can be really silly. But this was fine. You know, it was fine. The crowd seemed to love it. There was an awkwardness to this performance. She had dancers with her, but I don't know. I think she loosened up a bit more as the song progressed. It was catchy, it had rhythm to it. Not a huge fan of the lyrics, but the lyrics, as I've said before, don't really matter too much. She was in a silver dress, if I remember correctly. Not much else to say about it. Catchy, a simple refrain, and everybody seemed to be having a pretty good time, in all honesty. So this is through to the runoff vote. Also through, somewhat surprisingly to me, with 59 points, is Cloudy with Verdai. He did okay with 30 to 59-year-olds, and somewhat okay with everybody else. I don't really remember this at all. He was standing amongst greenery, if you see what I mean. Again, you'll know if you've seen the performance. It reminded me of Ashes to Ashes by Anna Bergendahl. I think it was that performance anyway. It's a very tender song, but nothing remarkable about it, really. Very tender verses, but then the chorus had more of a poppier tone. And also, I thought in the chorus that he actually was relying on the backing vocals to do most of the work. That's what it felt like to me, at the very least. So yeah, I am surprised this has progressed, really. I don't see it making the final, but who knows. That leaves the two that did progress to the final. The winner of the second round of voting very comfortably was Cassiopeia with Give My Heart a Break. Now, I haven't really listened to a huge amount of her work, but what I have heard, there is something very childlike about it. And that's not an insult, it's just that her music feels very twee and uplifting and cutesy. So it feels like it really would appeal to younger voters more than adults. Although saying that, in the age range voting, she got 12 points from pretty much everybody, so it doesn't really matter. She was in a keyhole at the start. Then we had dancers, and I didn't like their outfits at all. For some reason, this gave off Jessie J vibes. Early Jessie J vibes. I don't mind her voice, and I did sort of like the very cutesy, uplifting nature of this track. It might well be my winner of this heat, my personal winner. I don't know. I don't really have anything else to say about it. Maybe it ran out of steam towards the end. It's not winning Melfest, I'd be very surprised about that. But it's not a bad effort. The winner of this heat was the newcomer, very impressive, Jacqueline with Effortless. Is this a contender to win the whole of Melfest? I'm not sure, but it's not a bad effort whatsoever. This was slick pop, seductive. That's the best way to describe this. Lyrically quite saucy, you know, but we've heard it all before. She had dancers, she was in a sort of sexy black outfit, a little bit on the Dua Lipa side, I would say, this whole thing. She had a light-up rectangular box with her, a bit of choreography, vocals weren't too bad. There was a groovy guitar line in this, which was quite nice to hear. But maybe it's too basic to win the whole thing. I don't know. Obviously, if this went to Eurovision, it would do well, probably top 10 in Malmö. But I have a feeling Sweden have something a lot more impressive up their sleeves. And that could come in Heat 4, which takes place in Eskilstuna this week. Have we heard our Melfest winner yet? I'm not sure. So it's either going to come from this heat or next week's final heat. This week we have Done Getting Over You by Albin Tingvall, 30 kilometers an hour by Leah Larsson, It's Not Easy to Write a Love Song by Dotter. She's back, she's in her mid-30s I believe, she's been a runner-up in Melfest previously with Bulletproof, which a lot of people really loved. Even if she had won Melfest, she wouldn't have gone to Eurovision because that was the pandemic cancelled contest. And let's not forget her first effort didn't even make the second chance round, Cry. That was a pretty good effort. Then we have Circus X with Scarlett, or rather the other way around, Scarlett with Circus X. Very few people have spoken about that female duo, but they're a very striking looking pair of women, so that could really stand out from the field. Lasse Stefans with En Song om Sommaren. They've been involved before years ago. I'm expecting something quite dance-spanned and cheesy in style, perhaps. And then we have Daddy Salcedo, twice a Melfest runner-up, with Happy That You Found Me. And I was just looking at his page here. He's also in his, well, mid to late 30s. He was on Swedish Idol. He has a Polish father and Bolivian mother. He speaks English, Spanish, Polish, French, and Swedish, and dated Molly Sandén once upon a time, which I didn't know. Anyway, I'm on the SVT Play website. Let's just get through this, shall we? Last week there were a few issues. Not with me, but the SVT Play website itself. We'll do this, as always, in order of least to most interested. We'll begin with Lasse Stefans with En Song Om Sommaren. Here we go. Anders Rethoff has co-written this because he co-writes most things. If there's any lag, apologies. If you can hear the laptop whirring away, apologies. This is just taking its sweet time. Here we go. Okay. It's in the Swedish language. Oh yeah, this is exactly as I expected, really. This little acoustic melody. Strings, is that? Nice. Oh, this is quite nice, you know. It's not going through. But it really is giving off a nice little summer vibe. And I like the instrumentation very much, I must say. Oh, well, I didn't mind that. A few weeks ago we had Engmans Kapell. This immediately is more striking to me. Might do well with older viewers, not so well with younger viewers. I don't see it going through. Let's now listen to Done Getting Over You by Albin, a curly-haired chap, and this song has a pretty strong songwriting team, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's top quality. Okay. Okay, here we go. This sort of slightly stripped back verse, and the chorus will really, you know, bring the song to life, I guess. Okay, little bit of momentum. Pre-chorus. Take Me Home. Okay, this is going to cut off right before the chorus, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. It's a chorus where we repeat the song title to fill space, which I always find quite disappointing. That sounded okay, though. Like I said, it had a bit of momentum to it. Don't mind his voice. Not sure it's top quality, but I'm sure it'll be alright when I hear the whole thing. Let's now listen to, let's listen to Leah Larsson with 30 kilometers an hour. This has, again, pretty notable songwriters, Thomas Gerson, Jimmy Jansson, and Axel Kjellström. Yes, indeed. Here we go, then. Leah Larsson, what have you got for us? She's in a pink jacket. Okay. Oh. Oh. There was a horse neighing there. Okay, this is quite up-tempo straight away. Just seems like a good time. Oh yeah. This reminds me a little bit of Choo Choo's song from DMGP. Okay, yeah. This clubby sounding chorus. Dum dum dum. Oh, okay. Well, I'm sure that really builds as it progresses. Not bad. Seems to have energy to it and momentum and urgency, which I can appreciate. That could be alright, absolutely. We move on to Danny Saucedo with Happy That You Found Me. This is last on in this week's upcoming heat. So, okay, it's a pop song. I Will Never Let You Go. Oh, this sounds familiar. It's giving off, I don't know, mild Calvin Harris, that sort of thing. Maybe even a touch of Avicii. Swedish House Mafia. Yeah, that sort of thing. Oh, whoa! God, how many songs have that? This is the chorus then. Pretty much lyric free. Letting the beat do the work. That's going to do quite well. Don't really know what to make of it though. I'm definitely thinking that it's fairly unoriginal. But then again, it's so hard to be truly original. So it is what it is. Let's now check out Scarlet. This could be right up my street. With Circus X or Circus 10. Oh man. This could be quite something. Lilla Sister involved with this song. At least one member is anyway. Enjoy the show. I imagine smoke moving forwards on stage. Act 1 on stage tonight. Well, actually you're Act 4, but never mind. Very chant-like. Come on, let it rip. Oh. Oh, okay. Remember Witchwoods from MGP? I thought this was going to be like Crucified Barbara. Do you remember them from Melfest years ago? Ah. Oh, this is not bad though. Ah, okay. I was expecting something a lot heavier. I really was. I was expecting crunching guitars, this very sort of aggressive metal sound. I'll be honest, I really was expecting that. What we have is something that's actually veering into a more gothic pop realm. Can't say I really love that. So I'm a little underwhelmed with what I've just heard, but I'm sure I will enjoy the whole thing, and there's the potential for great staging. So now, it's Dotter, with It's Not Easy to Write a Love Song. She's written this with her husband, I think it's her husband, Dino Medan-Hodzic. And some people on social media are pretty much already saying that she's winning Melfest and representing Sweden this year. That is jumping the gun. But is this top quality? I believe it's a ballad. Here we go. Deliver the goods. Dotter. This is nice, but it also feels like a lot of Melfest ballads. It's nice. Feels very hopeful. Yeah, I mean, that's it. That was over very quickly, that 1 minute long snippet. That was alright. You know, I can appreciate that, and we know that she's a pretty good performer and vocalist, so I'm not too concerned. But that did not strike me as Melfest winning material. I can tell you that much. So, based on what I've just heard, wow, who the hell is winning this heat? Danny Saucedo? Really? If I know Sweden, he's winning this heat. And I imagine Dotter will go through as well. And then I'm going to say probably Albin and Leah going through to the runoff vote, with Scarlet in 5th and Lasse Stefans in 6th. That's my prediction, and based on what I've just heard, my personal ranking, honestly it probably would be Dotter coming out on top, followed by maybe Danny Saucedo, then possibly Leah, then Scarlett, then Albin, then Lasser. But you know, until we see the whole performances at the weekend, let's not judge too harshly. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on Heat 4 of this year's Melfest. Are you impressed? Are you disappointed? Do Sweden have no chance this year? Let's not write them off. Write them off at your peril, of course. Anyway, I'll be back with another video fairly soon. Hopefully the lag wasn't too bad. Until next time, take care of yourselves, stay safe, check out my other social media pages if you so wish, and bye for now. See you again soon.